Ça va. OK. Je crois qu'on va commencer. Je sais pas.
Waouh, les courants est parti, mais on va essayer, on va tenter d'allumer le groupe.
OK.
Ah ouais, c'est difficile.
Ah,
Un peu de patience, le courant de l'État est
OK.
parti. Mais on a prévu d'allumer, d'acheter du carburant et allumer un groupe pour la circonstance.
OK. OK. On a déjà acheté le carburant?
Ouais, ouais, c'est une question juste de mettre, ils sont en train de mettre dans le groupe et puis essayer de relancer, quoi.
OK.
Et
OK.
on commence dans combien de minutes?
Dans 5 minutes comme ça.
5 minutes.
Oui.
Je risque de connaître un petit retard. Alors, je vais essayer vraiment de pousser et être
Et, et-
sûr que c'est.
Uh,
et-
Samuel, you don't have to rush. I am
OK.
going to talk a little bit to introduce. So we can maybe I can go slow and maybe be a little bit uh delay a little bit, if you need more time to help get your power back on.
Yeah, I think it will be very helpful for me. Something like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
we can do 15 minutes.
Yeah.
OK. OK. On vous attend, Samuel.
Ouais, ouais.
OK.
Ah, je suis désolé, Maurice. I'm sorry for that.
No, no, that's Kinshasa. That's Congo.
Ah, that's the Congo.
Yeah.
Aïe, 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 ça c'est une
So
honte.
Samuel, while you get
Ouais.
everything ready, put yourself on mute. Mute your mic.
OK.
Okay.
Is it me or is the live stream a little bit delayed?
It seems to be somewhat delayed.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's because there's like naturally a lag. Like for
Yeah,
what
it's a little delayed,
purpose.
but there was a little delay yesterday as well.
Okay. Okay, well, if 6 people are watching, I'm going to mute myself. They don't have to hear this. Okay, thank you. Me or is the live stream a little bit delayed? Oh, there we go. Now I'm hearing myself. Okay, I'm going to mute the
It seems to be
all right. I'm muting the live stream so I don't hear echoes of myself from 3 minutes ago. Welcome everybody. Thank you for waiting a couple minutes. Our speaker, Samuel Yagaze, is a little bit delayed. He's encountered some power problems. But my name is Rebecca Doris. I'm a chapter organizer with the Feminist Bird Club of Western Massachusetts. We are really excited to be kicking off the Birdathon this year. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're all about, and I'm going to take my time to give our speaker lots of time. We will be waiting patiently. Okay. So a little bit about our organization. We are the Feminist Bird Club. We are a network of over 30 birding communities across so-called North America and Europe, united by our mission to celebrate the people who love birds. We strive to make birding safe, accessible, affirming, and joyful for everyone, especially for those demographics who haven't historically had equitable access to the outdoors. Equally crucial is our mission to channel our passion for the environment towards creating sustainable change on this planet. We approach this through fundraising, mutual aid, grassroots conservation efforts, and community action, and have raised nearly $175,000 for social justice causes since our inception in 2016. So right now we are fundraising for Friends of the Congo. Birdathon 2024 on social media. You will find us #Bird4Congo. This is our second yearly Birdathon. It is a free, inclusive event that explores the diversity of ways to personalize and maximize the joy that birds can bring us. No prior birding experience is necessary to participate. You can choose from a list we've curated of activities to track or put your own spin on it. You can share your progress and cheer us on as we bird together next weekend. That's Friday, May 17th through Monday, May 20th. Myself, I'm on the Feminist Bird Club of Western Massachusetts chapter team, and I have set a goal for myself to spend 36 hours outdoors in nature. So that's how I'm choosing to do it. Some have chosen to, see how many female birds they can identify. Others have chosen to see how many, total lifers. There's a long list of different birding activities you can choose from, depending on your own level and interest. We hope to practice our commitment to anti-racism and decolonization by amplifying and empowering communities at the front line of the climate crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We strongly recommend that participants and teams participate in our fundraiser for Friends of the Congo by reaching out to their communities to gather donations or pledges. You can find more. You can donate to us. You can participate solo or join a team by visiting charity.pledgeit.org/bird4congo. We have limited edition merchandise that we are selling in order to raise funds as part of this fundraising campaign. These really, really beautiful t-shirts and sweatshirts in 4 different colors. 100% of the 100% of the proceeds go directly to Friends of the Congo. They will be available only until May 25th. I don't know if y'all can actually see me or if it's, I've disappeared on the live stream, but I am wearing my Friends of the Congo Birdathon sweatshirt, and I've got the beautiful design. These are several different bird species from the Congo. So yeah, buy the t-shirts, wear them everywhere, and when people ask you where you got these cool t-shirts, tell them about Feminist Bird Club. We want to take a moment to really recognize all of our privileges that we're able to host this fundraiser in the first place. We're all coming down together from different places, like I said earlier, from North America, Europe, all native land. We wish to honor and celebrate all of these Indigenous communities, their elders, past and present, as well as future generations. We currently occupy a virtual space. So let's take a moment to consider the legacies of colonization embedded in the tools, structures, and thought processes that brought us here today. We have the privilege of using equipment and high-speed internet that are not available in many Indigenous communities. Much of the digital infrastructure behind these technologies exists on stolen land and were made through exploitative labor practices. The technologies that are central to the actions we take today also leave significant carbon footprints contributing to changing climates that disproportionately affect Indigenous peoples' worlds. So to that end, we acknowledge our shared responsibility to consider our roles in reconciliation, decolonization, anti-racism, and allyship. This is an acknowledgement, one that doesn't take the place of authentic relationships with Indigenous communities. Rather, this is a first step to honor the land that we're on, recognize Indigenous peoples dispossessed of their relationships with this land, and reflect on the work that needs to be done in order to fully restore Indigenous sovereignty, including water, food, energy, and cultural sovereignty. Ultimately, through connection, through direct action, and through community care, we are committed to holding our governments, our communities, and ourselves accountable for collective liberation of Indigenous communities and all oppressed peoples across the world. So this text here has been inspired by and sourced from Adrian Wong and our friends at Design Action. Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the stewards, the Indigenous peoples of the land that you occupy currently. Before we get started, we want to call out our community guidelines. We have a responsibility to ourselves. We will pay attention to our feelings, our needs, and limitations, and reach out for help if we have any questions or concerns. There are multiple moderators looking at the chat right now. We have a responsibility to each other. We will take responsibility for our words and actions. When our mistakes harm others, we will center the needs of those impacted, no matter what the intent was. Before we get started, if you need to enable closed captions during the video playback, you want to click the CC icon at the bottom of the video. This will turn on the automatic captions on YouTube. If you don't have any CC icon displayed in your YouTube view, click the gear icon and then click subtitles/CC and select an option. And this is a little bit of a blank slide, so we're going to skip that one. So our speaker is Samuel Yagaze, a lifelong activist and changemaker who has brought light upon environmental racism and exploitation, crumbling infrastructure, and the escalating impacts of the climate emergency in the Democratic Republic of Congo. In 1992, he co-founded Group of Village Organizations for Autonomous Development in response to the lack of autonomy in local communities that had repeatedly been let down by international relief organizations. I know Samuel was having some difficulties with connection due to a power outage. And so we were going to wait for Samuel while he sorts that out. In the meantime, we can, let me check this. Has there been any action in the chat yet? There has not been any action in the chat yet from what I can see. But there is a little bit of a delay between my presentation and the live stream. Samuel Maurice, do we have any kind of a progress or estimated time, or should we just maybe I can go back to the waiting screen, and we can wait for whenever Samuel is ready.
Allô, Maurice? Voilà.
Oui, oui, Samuel. Je crois qu'on peut commencer, même qu'il n'y a pas de la lumière.
Ben, les courants ne toujours pas rétablis et le groupe, on a mis de carburant, mais apparemment, il y a quelque chose qui nous... Allô, Maurice?
Oui, oui, nous sommes là, nous sommes là. Samuel,
Oui, allô?
oui, oui, vous pouvez commencer hein, en anglais. Vous pouvez parler un peu de Gova, de vous-même et de la situation en global dans dans le forêt, quoi. OK?
Okay.
OK, on y va.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, I'm really very sorry for what has happened because of the light. This is Congo, so we are working in very difficult situations, in very difficult context. I'm sorry for that. I'm Samuel Yagase, working for a local NGO called the GOVA, group of village associations for self-reliance. I've been working for the community for, 3 decades, trying to empower the community and develop some actions, projects in different angles, especially in terms of protecting the environmental, the forest, the river, the biodiversity, and so on. Why to work with local people or indigenous people? We really think that they are the best protectors of our nature. They have been protecting the forest, the river for hundreds of years. So I know most of big projects or government agencies or international NGOs. Of course, they want to protect the forest, but they don't need, they don't give space to local people, which is a very big mistake. Let me give you just one example for that. Before the COP27 in Egypt, they organized a pre-COP meeting in Yangambi to protect the forest, the Yangambi forest, and they called for scientists and government agency, different government agencies, but they didn't include local people, which is really very sad, because how can we pretend to protect the environmental, to protect the nature, to protect our rivers without the real involvement of people living in the forest or living in that environmental? So it's really a very big mistake. So we rely on them, we trust them. They have a real capacity. They know the forest, they know many things, because for us, we think that the one who knows is the one who has been to university or scientific or specialist. Or it's not true. In the communities, there is a lot of knowledge, but neglected. So for us, we are working with them, trying to involve them, to give them power, to give them a space, to give them a consideration, and they are able to contribute, to really contribute a lot for the protection of the nature, birds, animals, rivers, and so on. I really would like to, to thank you very much for that, for involving me, for inviting me to this meeting. And when you are inviting me, it means that you are inviting local communities and indigenous people. That's what I really would like to let you know. And also thank friends of the Congo who give us which gives us more space and the consideration. And then apart from the GOVA, we created our coalitions called Basanja. We have numerous of organization, local organization, and we created the coalition called the Basanja. So Basanja is a local name, is a Topoke name, is a tribe in the Congo Basin. The Basanja is the code, the traditional code of protecting forest. So that code was not made by scientists. It wasn't made by people from university or from the government. It's local tradition. It's traditional. It's local code because local people, they know at this moment you can't go to fish, you can't go to hunt animals, you can't do this and that. So as we decide to respect them, we called ourselves as a coalition Basanja using a traditional or a local name. That's what I also would like to share with you. We know I can see some pictures. I'm sorry, you don't see me. Some pictures of your organization. I'm very happy seeing different birds, seeing the T-shirts. That's great. That's great. But what I would like to share with you about birds, we are really losing some species of birds where we are living. Even in the Congo Basin. And I don't know even more. I learned this from local people. They can tell you that this bird, that one, and so on, we don't see them anymore. So I think even me, I'm still learning from them. But it's clear, it's really clear that we are losing birds, and it's a lot of birds. When I was young, I saw different birds. I can't give you maybe the scientific name or the name in English, but I know the name in the local languages that we don't see several kinds of birds anymore. And the local people know it a lot. So I really would like to thank your movement, and thank you for thinking of birds, to think of the nature. And I don't know how we can do to stop losing birds in our environment, the environment. That's what I can say briefly. But if you have a specific question, I can try to answer. Maurice, is that okay, or you would like me to add something else? Maybe, I talked briefly about GOVA and about the Basanja coalition,
Right.
respecting the
Samuel,
local people. Yeah.
can you speak to some of the challenges the local people are facing in terms of the climate crisis, in terms of deforestation, just the local challenges that you've shared before that the people are facing?
Exactly. Thank you very much, Maurice. They are facing a lot of challenges, and first of all, in terms of in terms of climate crisis, where we are located in Isangi territory, we have never seen what is happening now. Having the flood for 12 months without stopping. So we have never seen that. So hundreds of villages are still underwater when I'm talking. That's one. Two, the deforestation is is of course local people that are doing their farm, but they are small. They are very small farm just for getting food to survive on. But the big problem is the big companies, coming in from outside, yeah, to cut trees, timber, and so on. It's almost everywhere. It's not known only around Isangi, but in the Congo. And note that the Congo has 62% of the forest of the Congo basin. So we have it's like 6-7 countries: the Congo, Brazzaville, Congo, Kinshasa, Gabon, Central African Republic, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, and so on. All that the Congo itself has 62%. That we really are facing the loss of important trees being cut by big companies, multinationals, for exporting. Yeah, that's a very big issue. And then I also would like to share with you in terms of funding. People they think of protecting the Congo forest and so on. They have good words. They are talking, but in reality, regarding the fund, it's only, according to the inquiry we made, it's only 1% that reaches the local people. 1% is nothing. People are talking about protecting forests and so on. They are giving money, they are giving funds, but to big organizations, to government agencies that local people they are put aside. To me, it's a very big mistake. It's looking something and at the same time it's contrary. We want to protect forests, but we are not able to give funds to local people to support their project and so on. We can't ask to local people to say, okay, you need to protect forests, do this, do that. Those people, they are relying on forests to survive. They don't have work, they don't have banks, they don't have a salary, so they need to go every day to the forest to get mushroom for their farm, to get caterpillars, to get even medicines. So I think it's logical to, when we want to involve them, to see how they can how we can support their life standard. So it's really a very big, it's some of challenges we are facing as local people or indigenous people. Hello, Maurice.
Yes, thank you for that, Samuel. Samuel, can you speak a little bit? You had participated in COP27. Can you speak a little bit about the international solidarity and the connections that you are trying to make on behalf of the indigenous communities in your village in Tolao and the Isangi district? Speak to how
Yeah.
important that is.
Please come again.
Speak to how important international solidarity is in making those connections. where Village Voices are given a platform to share their stories.
Yeah, I think the 27 Cup happened in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt was a very, very good opportunity for us. It was the very first we attended the Cup for the very first time. Why? Because, as I said, the pre-COP meeting in Yangambi was only for scientists and government agencies, and so they didn't. The local people were not involved. So we tried our best. We got the support from Friends of the Congo to allow us to travel to Egypt, and meet different organizations trying to speak on behalf of local communities and try to raise the locals' voice. And I think we were really, really very successful because we also met some organizations from the Amazon in Latin America and in South Asia, some organization from local people. So we decided to exchange ideas with them and to work with them. We also got that opportunity to tell international NGOs or international organization to try to convince them to work and to support local communities, because it's a very, very big mistake. We can't pretend protect our nature, our forest, the river, without the real involvement of people living in the trees or near the rivers. It's not possible. We are trying to advocate for that, to lobby some organizations of people, but we still have much work to do because, let me say that, of course, our voice is not heard, is not very well heard yet.
Excellent. Thank you, Samuel. And speaking of your voice not heard yet, can you share with the audience one of the projects that you're undertaking in order to get the voices heard with the Basanja film and what that is about?
Yeah, it's very important, Maurice, because we are really, we are determined, to fight on behalf of local communities and the indigenous people. Why? Because they have a true knowledge. They really have true knowledge. And myself, I've been working with local community for three decades now. And we know how locally they have their techniques, they have their traditional code to protect the forest. So we decided to work with a filmmaker from the US, Petnan Daliko. He came to Isangi to meet local people. We went to the forest. He learned a lot about local knowledge. So he's working on the film now to try to share, really to share with international communities the true knowledge from the grassroots, from the local community or indigenous people. So he's working on that film, and it will be a very, very good tool to help many organizations or people to understand the sense of our fight to raise the voice from the grassroots. Yeah, and it's really very important to understand that, because in this global fight, we know the planet is warming, but local people have to play a crucial role.
Thank you very much, Samuel. We really appreciate you coming and speaking with us and sharing your knowledge and experience. We have some questions from the group, if you'd be open to answering them. How can we help? Many of us are on the other side of the world. How can we help with supporting the people and the forests of Congo?
Hello?
Hi, did you hear my question?
Please, can you repeat? I didn't hear
Okay,
properly.
yeah, of course. How can we help with supporting the people and the forests of Congo?
Yeah, I think you can help in different ways. Yeah, depending on your choice. But as I said, first of all, we need to disseminate the local knowledge. Even now, what we are doing, we are working with the youth, to understand what is a Basanja code. It's traditional, but we need to give that traditional knowledge to the youth to understand and not wait for this big NGO or big organization to come and tell people do this, do that, which is not really yeah, which doesn't respect the local um, practices and so on. So it's very, very important to disseminate the local or indigenous knowledge. Very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think through that film, because we are still working on it, especially Mr. Daliko, supporting that film would be a very important issue. Thirdly, supporting small projects at the community level, as I said, we need to involve them, and we know they have a crucial role to play. Small projects to improve their standards, and after that, like now, people are facing the consequences of the climate crisis, especially in our area. Somewhere else it's a drought, but in our case, it's the contrary of drought, which is a flood. So people are really, they have, with the flood, they have lost many, many, many things. They have lost their farms and the water. They have lost their houses. It's not in concrete. And people also are facing disease like diarrhea, sleeping sickness due to the flood. And most of hospitals and health centers don't have medicines. That one is very, very, very crucial. Yeah, that's some point. Yeah, so what I can see as an important point to suggest to you in terms of help.
Great, thank you. We have some other questions. Can you share some examples of the solutions that local indigenous communities have used?
The solution to stop
some solutions to really any of the issues that are being faced in the Congo. You had mentioned that the international relief organizations, they don't really help because they aren't really listening to indigenous communities. So we'd be interested in learning some of the creative solutions that indigenous communities might have used for issues, some of the environment, to address some of the environmental impacts that they're facing.
Yeah, it's not clear yet. Sometimes I don't hear properly.
Oh, that's okay. We're curious to hear about some of the unique and creative methods that indigenous communities use to foster and sustain the environment.
Okay. Yeah, I think they have a lot of methods. Mm-hmm. Yes. First of all, it's very, very hard for indigenous people to sell land like big companies are doing. So they come in, they give money to the government. Sometimes they corrupt them, and they get millions of hectares. It's forbidden for indigenous people to sell land. You can use it and protect some areas. That is local. And then some type of trees giving fruits, giving caterpillars, or giving traditional medicines, you can't cut. So it's highly protected by the local people. Thirdly, they can't go to the forest to do anything anytime. There is some moment they can say, okay, some period they can say, don't go to fish, because fish are going to at that time fish are going to produce a lot, and so they have some regulation like that. Don't enter these forests because we would like it to grow and to stay there and sustain to sustain the environmental. So that's why. Yeah, that's what we are calling the Basanja code. Yeah. So they have when people from outside, big and not big NGO, big companies, when they come and give money to politicians like here in Kinshasa, they come in the community, they say, and from now you are not allowed to enter the forest, and they destroy everything because they want to cut trees. For them, it's the money. The regard needs to the local interest and so on. And something else I would like to mention about the consequences, also the local effort in terms of giving what we call the community fund. So in Isangi we call it in French, Maurice knows, I think, Caisse de Solidarité d'Isangi. So asking people not to cross their hands or wait until maybe the government or international people. So they don't have a lot of money, but they are creating that kind of solidarity spirit. So yeah, trying to help. Even now, some villages are not flooded. Those villages are supporting the ones who are in need. So, boosting or improving solidarity spirit in the community. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good example. We have another question. What are some of the lingering impacts of colonialism in the area? Could you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in our area, the impact of colonialism is felt up to now. Yeah, because of course our ancestors trying to fight colonizers, but they couldn't, and they decide not to create things like big hospitals or sending children to school and so on. So up to now, we can feel that kind of consequence. And the colonialism also taught people that local people don't know anything. So they have to get information, knowledge from from the colonizers. So it creates some kind of a complex, inferiority complex. Yeah. And then they're looting. So they get embers and so on. So they really, really loot the area. And we are feeling the consequences up to now. In Imbolo, there is the company used to be from Belgium, but now it's in hands of an American. So they are taking a lot of anchors of land, and people are really they are in difficulty. So, but people organize themselves trying to push them out. It wasn't easy. The impact of colonialism, is there. It's felt. It's more now. It's more psychological.
We also had some questions about how has colonialism damaged biodiversity?
Yeah, the colonialism for them, the priority was the interest of colonizers. That's the economic priority. So they did their best to exploit and like when I take the example of exporting timber. It has a lot of consequences on the environmental. Cutting timber up to now and or somewhere like where we can find mines. So mines exploitation has also very, 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 very big consequences on environmental. It destroys our environmental because they have to dig, they have to cut trees in order to get, mines, gold, coltan, and so on.
Thank you for sharing. I'm just I shared the link that that Maurice shared about. Okay, another question is what are some ancestral practices that the local communities are reviving and are they working?
Yeah, like now, up to now, there is some period you can't enter the forest. Yeah, as I told you, because the fish have to multiply themselves or animals and so on. Yeah, especially to be concrete, end of June, July, August, September. So you need to leave the forest like that. That's one. Two, don't cut any trees that gives fruit, caterpillars, or medicines, and so on. If you do so, you can be punished by the community. And it's now they are fighting bushfires. So people can put they're happy to see how they're happy to see the bushfires. It burns hectares, hundreds of hectares, and so on. But now it's completely forbidden to put fire on the forest intentionally. And yeah, if you start your farm here, you need maybe after that you need to stay like 7 years, 8 years, 10 years without coming back to that area for the forest to be restored. Yeah, and also they are planting some specific species, especially giving medicines and so on. So people are planting.
Mm-hmm. We have another question about the floods in Congo.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that? And why do you think the increase in floods is happening?
Yeah, normally in normal time, we used to have floods in November, beginning of November and December, maybe up to January in our area. I think about 10 years ago, it used to be more and more serious from November and December. But what we have witnessed this year is really, really special. Last year, it came twice instead of once. Last year, it came twice. It came in March, March, April, and then December. But from that time up to now, we still are in flood. Hundreds of villages are still in flood. So water is there, the Congo River, the Lomami River, so completely flooded up to now. It's really, we have never seen that. Of course, people are talking about the consequences of the climate crisis, climate change, but we have never seen that. And it's very, very serious. As I told you, the problem is not only the flood, but people are losing their farms. So they don't work, so they only rely on their farms. So they don't get food now. It's really very, very complicated. And also because people are, their water source are in the water, so they drink that the water from the flood and so on. So we are facing lots of disease, diarrhea, sleeping sickness, as a cholera, as I mentioned before. And and most of roads are, it's very difficult for the car or even the motorbike to move easily. I sent some pictures to Maurice about the situation, about the flood situation in Isange. It's really, it's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. Well,
we are trying to. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say that we have about 5 minutes left. But if you had more to say, please continue.
What I would like to mention is like we can see the absence of local and government officials to intervene when we are struggling at the grassroots, trying to promote solidarity. We could have expected support from the government, but it's not coming.
We have another.
So I would like just to mention that the local effort is not really supported.
Yeah. We have one more question that I missed. Can you tell us about how have local communities been disappointed by international relief organizations. Can you share some details or an example there?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. I know all your questions are very interesting. Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, disappointment is there, of course. Just one example. I told you about the pre-COP meeting in Yangambi, which is a rural area. So people came, international NGO, big NGOs came in up to Yangambi to talk about Yangambi forest, how it can be protected. But nobody from Yangambi attended the meeting. Nobody. Let me tell you that we have a community radio. We sent our journalist from the community radio. He didn't get accreditation. They said, oh, no, this is the scientific meeting. It's not for local and so on. How can you pretend to protect Yangambi forest without the involvement of people living in Yangambi? It's not possible. That is, that lack of respect to local people. So people were really, really discouraged. And that's one. Two, if you can watch Mabele Nabiso film from GOVA activities, during one period we were again flooded. One international NGO came in to support, in brackets. Do you know what he brought? The NGOs brought sardines to give people. People said, no, we have our river. We are flooded. We can get fresh fish from the river. We don't need the fish. How can't you bring medicines? How can't you bring like blankets or mosquito nets, things like that? So your help is not appropriated because we have our own fish. So it's some, international or big NGOs, they can plan from London, from Paris, from Washington, D.C., from, from Ottawa or where, and they bring their thoughts, and they don't have time to listen to local people, which is a very big mistake. Yeah. And they think that only with their thoughts, only with their money, they can do a lot. Unfortunately, locally, on the ground, it doesn't work, and it won't work. And sustainability is in danger. So I can say that that's the biggest, it's really frustrating, the lack of respect, of consideration. They don't have time to listen to local people, to share, even to learn from them. And I think I've always said to different people that the first professor of the very first university in the world didn't go to university himself. Do you get me? The first professor of the first university in the world didn't go to university himself. But he found many, many things to teach from the community. So we need to trust community. We need to give them power. We need to give them a space. We need to give them a respect, consideration. We also need to learn from them.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And thank you so much for coming and speaking with us today and sharing with us what I've been hearing this past hour. Your organization really aligns with what our organization is trying to prioritize. We do want to listen to and learn from Indigenous voices. We do want to heighten those voices and give them more attention. So we really, really, really appreciate that you came and spoke to us today, and have taken the time to answer our questions. And I would like to also thank our audience. If you have any feedback on this presentation, you can reach out to us at fbc.birdathon@gmail.com. Please follow along with us for Birdathon updates. And on social media, you can follow our Birdathon, which I'm very excited about, on the hashtags Bird for Congo, Bird Your Way, and Birding for a Better World. The event is next weekend, as I mentioned, but already, even though we haven't started yet, we have already raised about a sixth of our goal, and 100% of this is going to be going to Friends of the Congo, and towards all of the efforts that Samuel has described for us. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. We learned a lot, and we are just so grateful that you came and spoke with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes, thank you. And we will.
And thank you for your good work. I think you are on the right way, thinking of indigenous people and so on. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, everybody stay tuned and keep following us on social media, and buy our fun t-shirts. They are beautiful. All right. We'll catch up with everybody on social media, and thank you very much, and have a good afternoon, good evening, everybody.